Okay. Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of the CTHS podcast. If you don't know how hard it has been to set this up, it's been a journey.
It's been really hard.
We've had a lot of technical difficulties. Technically, this is our second time recording this.
Yep.
We've already done this episode with our guests, but
Yeah.
we're gonna try it again. Hopefully this time nothing messes up.
Yeah.
But welcome to the CTHS podcast. If you're wondering what this is, we're going to have it every now and then when we can, and we're going to bring on teachers and students and any other guests that want to come on here. And we're going to interview them, talk about what they do during their school life, their out-of-school life, what they're interested in, and we're going to get an inside look into student life and teacher life and staff life, and I think it's going to be really fun.
Yeah. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a poll where you guys, if y'all are interested in being interviewed up here, y'all can write y'all's name and why you want to be interviewed, and based on the reason.
Interview. It's more like a
just talking. It's not an interview.
It's not serious. It's just
discussion. We're just
fun.
talking. But yeah, based on your reasonings and stuff, if you have a good story to tell or something, we'll pick you up. But without further ado, we have our first guest ever of the CTHS podcast.
Special guest. Who's it gonna be?
She is. Come up here. Come on. It's Heaven De Leon, the Valedictorian.
Where did she
up,
come from?
CTHS. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get this started.
So,
All right.
First
Evan?
of all, before we start, though, I want to thank y'all for inviting me to be the first guest on the very first podcast show.
Yeah. No problem. No problem. It's an
Thank
honor
you.
to have you here.
Oh,
the
it's
first
pleasure.
one.
It's pleasure. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. All right.
So, who are you?
Okay. Well, I'm Heaven. And yeah, so I'm valedictorian so far.
Yeah.
And I'm also NHS president and a NASA employee, I guess.
Oh, yeah. We'll get into that a little bit later.
Yeah, if you don't know, Heaven
Yeah.
is our valedictorian. She's a very dedicated student. She's, as they say, epic.
Yeah.
She has a lot of accolades, and I know that could be stressful, and it sounds like you have a lot. So,
Yeah,
what's
definitely.
your day like?
Yeah.
So there's days when I always have something going on every day, except I guess for the weekend.
Uh-huh.
So I'm also in robotics. Robotics is Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 6 to 8.
Uh-huh.
But I've sacrificed one of those days, Mondays, for my internship at NASA.
Yeah.
So,
Sacrifice.
yeah, sacrificed. So I go to NASA Mondays, Wednesdays, and occasionally Fridays.
Yeah.
So after school's on those days that I go to NASA, I go straight to NASA after
Uh-huh.
school. And then I stay there around until 6, and then I come back home. I do homework, I eat dinner, I take a shower, and then if I have free time, I guess, which happens rarely,
Yeah.
I read a book, or I practice some coding. I just do some
Play video games.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've been meaning to play some video games, but I haven't had
Yeah.
What
time.
video
Mhm.
game?
Borderlands.
3?
Mm.
I haven't gotten 3 yet. No, not yet. I want to. So yeah, and then on Tuesdays, when I do plan to go to robotics, of course, sometimes if I find it, I have a test on Wednesday and I find it I need to study, then I won't go to robotics and I'll just stay home and I'll study for the test.
Smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then on the days that I do plan to go to robotics after school, I go home, I do homework, and then that usually, robotics starts at 6, so whenever I go home, I do chill for a little bit, about 30 minutes, or
Yeah.
sometimes more than I should,
Uh-huh.
but it
30
averages
minutes
out
is not enough chill?
about 30.
I chill for 5 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then I chill for about 30 minutes, and then I do homework, and then homework usually lasts until robotics starts, and then
Yeah.
I go to robotics from 6 to 8, and then
Whoa.
I get home. If there's any homework that I need to finish, then I
Uh-huh.
finish the homework, and then I eat dinner, shower, and then on robotics days I usually don't have any free time, so I just go to sleep after I'm done.
Yeah, that sounds like a
Yeah,
lot,
my
dude.
Yeah,
big
it's
question
a
is
lot, yeah.
like, how?
Yeah, how
Like,
are you
ha-
so
ha-
dedicated to? What made you like so dedicated to, go through all this and do it with such a great attitude about it?
Well, I guess part of it is that I love to learn, you know, and so in itself has kept me motivated to just keep gaining knowledge over a lot of things, and also like you guys need to understand that I did not come into high school thinking like, oh, I'm going to be
Yeah.
valedictorian. You
Just
know,
kind of happened.
it just happened. Like
Yeah, didn't try. It just happened. Like,
Yeah.
I did make a choice
Very humble.
in 8th grade that I did want to like dedicate myself to academics.
Why?
Yeah.
What made you
Um,
make that decision?
So when I was younger, like in my elementary, middle school eras, I did almost like every sport and joined in on every hobby that a person can do.
Yeah.
Almost everyone, I guess. I did basketball.
Hooper heaven.
I did soccer.
Uh-huh.
I did softball.
Yeah.
I did singing lessons. I was in singing
Oh, really?
lessons. Yes, I
You
was
can
in.
sing?
I can't sing. No, that's why I'm
Oh,
not
okay.
in it.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Yeah, that
Now,
makes sense.
I did guitar lessons.
Mhm.
I also did karate. Okay, I did a
Sheesh.
lot. I did a lot of stuff, and after every one of them, I was like, maybe this isn't for me.
Yeah.
I never really got good at any of those. So, 8th grade, the end of 8th grade, I had already known, that I was accepted here.
Mhm.
I made, like, consciously in my mind, I made the choice. I said to myself, I think academics is the best way for me to go.
Yeah.
So that's when I said, okay, then I'm gonna just stick to
Focus on it.
school. Yeah,
Yeah.
focus on school. And so coming into 9th grade, I did that. I
Yeah.
did school and I studied and I put all of my effort into it, and then I somehow finished the year with all A's.
Uh-huh.
And then I kept with that mindset. I kept it sophomore year, and then I also finished that year with all A's, and then the same thing junior year,
Mhm.
and then just
Senior year.
yeah, senior year. I
Yeah.
just happened to be valedictorian. I didn't plan it. Just
Yeah.
it just happened.
But you did put in the work to get there.
I
You
put
gotta,
in the work. Yeah,
you gotta
Yeah.
thank yourself for that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I,
And
yeah.
it's great that you did a lot of things like before you get into high school,
Mhm.
because it really got you into that mindset.
Yeah.
When I
Yeah.
was in 8th grade and 7th grade, all I did was like play Minecraft. Like I didn't
But
do
I
all
mean,
of
it's
that.
like that helped you discover, and
Yeah,
like, some people
exactly.
they'll be good in those things, and
Mhm.
that's
Uh-huh.
like what they can do.
Right. Yeah.
And you
Yep.
found yourself, you're like, oh,
Mhm.
okay,
Uh-huh.
I'm not good in those things. Here's what I'm.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it went.
So like, do you feel any pressure from people now that you have been named
Um,
valedictorian and like you're at NASA?
Yeah, definitely. Like, there's definitely a sort of expectation that people have for me. They really, I feel like a lot of people really, since I have, oh, I'm valedictorian or I work at NASA, they really expect me to be, the
Yeah.
top,
Yeah.
be really good at stuff, I guess,
Uh-huh.
be really smart, and never be wrong, apparently.
Yeah, we were in calculus. We were
Yeah.
doing related rates,
Yeah,
and people are like, if heaven can't do it, and
yeah,
if
yeah.
heaven can't do it,
Yeah,
then
if heaven
Yeah.
can't do it, then no one can do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely do feel the pressure now that people see me as some sort of, I don't know.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's crazy. Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely adds pressure. But like
Uh-huh.
y'all need to understand, everyone watching. Okay, I'm human.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly. She's not a robot, bro.
I make mistakes. I'm not perfect.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I need to understand that too sometimes, because
Uh-huh.
sometimes like the expectations that people hold from me also makes me
Yeah.
like, oh, they're expecting me to do this, I gotta meet their expectations.
Mhm.
So sometimes, like, if I make a mistake, I beat myself up for it.
Uh-huh.
I do that a lot, actually. I would say that's one of my
Yeah.
faults. So I also need to remind myself occasionally that,
Yeah.
oh, I'm
we all
human.
make mistakes.
Yeah, we all
it's
make
okay.
mistakes. Yeah.
Can't be
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah. So, can you tell us a little bit how you like managed to get that NASA internship, and like what do you do? And stuff?
Yeah, so I'm in honors engineering, and one of the requirements for that is we have to do a senior project. Well, sort of everyone in my engineering class, even honors or not, are working on a senior project, and we have to present in front of a business panel over our project, or really over anything, but it would be smart to do it over the project.
Yeah.
But yeah, one of the requirements, engineering project, senior year project, and I didn't know what to do, because you're presenting in front of a business panel, and that's your moment to like really impress people. And if it you do everything right and they're really impressed with you, then they could give you a scholarship or even an internship. So I racked my brain thinking like, oh, I need to do something cool to impress the business panel, the businessman or woman. Yeah. And I couldn't until I talked to Mr. Chandler, and he gave me the idea to possibly design or build a workout machine for astronauts up in the International Space Station. So this is totally Mr. Chandler's ideas, so thank you, Mr. Chandler.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out to Mr. Chandler.
Awesome guy.
Yep, definitely. And so I brought that up to Mr. Scarcella, and Mr. Scarcella, he was an engineering teacher, but now he's a robotics coordinator. Yeah. He got promoted, and he knows some people there from NASA. So he was like, okay, I like your idea. I'll go bring it up to one of my colleagues from NASA. Yeah. And so he did, and one of those colleagues, they come here every Thursday for robotics, to help us out for robotics. Yeah. So one of those Thursdays, I came for robotics, and Mr. Scarcella introduced me to that guy, and so I talked to him, and he really liked what I had to say and my idea, and he brought up that he said that he liked my idea, but he brought up that his team, so the guy that I talked to was the chief of lunar roving vehicles, so he's like in charge, like chief engineer of the lunar roving vehicles. So he had mentioned that his group was working on designing a wheel for a lunar rover called Chariot. And so he was like, you can work on your workout machine, or you can join in on my team to help us out, to work on the rover. So I thought about it, and I was like, you know what, it would be cool to design a wheel, because that would involve, getting up close, with the rover, something that's actually going to go to the moon.
Of history.
Yeah, exactly, part of history. So I was like, building a wheel, getting up close with the rover that's going to go on the moon, that sounds cool. So
you should like write your name on it.
Yeah.
Before you like launch it to Mars.
A little quiet.
Yeah. So one thing led to another, and so I interned there at NASA now, helping them design, test, and build a wheel for a lunar rover.
That's awesome. That's like really dope.
Yeah, it's really fun. Actually, yesterday I went to NASA after school. Because yesterday was Monday. And when I got there, it was like about 3, little before 3. From like until I got there, all the way until 7:20, 7:30, I was in a meeting that they were the roving, the team there was having that entire time. We did not move from our seats, and it was just a bunch of people talking about the rover, and a lot of it went totally over my head.
Big words.
Yeah, really big words. I did not 98%. I did not know what they were talking about, except there were some times where this guy mentioned as soon as you get over the static friction, it'll be easier to move. And I was like, yeah, I know that because physics, And then another guy said, oh, on my free body diagram. And I was like, yeah, I know what a free body diagram is. But that was relative to the other information they were giving, that was not really important, not as serious. But
You'll get there.
It was intense though, seeing a lot of most of it was men. Okay, let's be real.
Call them out.
Yeah, it was crazy to see all these mostly men talking about like being really passionate about a rover that's going to go to the moon. Like just seeing them be passionate about taking something to the moon was just, you know, it was
How many people were in the room?
it was like, okay,
Like the ratio from female to male.
so I did count the female that were in there. I didn't get to count all the guys though, because there was a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people. So I would say there was about 20 to 25 people in the room, and 5 of those were women, and the rest were men.
Yeah.
So like 5.
Yeah, I mean it's good that you're getting into STEM, which is a lot of women aren't.
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
It's good that you are, and you're being able to have that opportunity to like show that they
Mhm.
can be.
Yeah.
It's inspiring. Yeah.
I mean,
Big inspiring.
it's
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people, you know, they deny, you know, like, oh no, like it's the women, it's themselves that they don't want to get into the STEM fields. But like, I mean, it's obvious, you know, with the discrepancy between how many males are in STEM fields, how many women aren't. Yeah.
That's well,
Really cool.
that's dope.
Really awesome.
Amazing.
You show 'em. You
Yeah.
come a face. Motivate them.
Yeah.
So
Well,
do you have any advice on how you do that? Any of that? Any of the hard work that you put in?
yeah.
How do you
Anything
do
you wanna let everyone else watching?
Okay. Yeah. So it is a lot. I guess personally, I would say first it starts with that choice. You know, it
Yeah.
starts with
100%.
mentally making that choice. Like, okay, I'm going to devote myself to this.
And that's the hardest part.
Yeah, that's the hardest part.
Doing
yeah.
it isn't as hard. Like getting yourself in that mindset.
Yeah. You guys need to understand that
Uh-huh.
even showing up is half the battle. Okay, so even like
Yep.
making that decision with anything, whether it's school or wanting to start a workout routine or wanting to lose weight,
Anything.
it starts with a
Anything.
choice. Like, okay, I'm going to devote myself to school. Okay, I'm gonna start working out more. Okay, I'm going to lose weight. You know, just set a goal for yourself, and then you have to stick to it.
Yep. It's also hard.
That's that
Like once you I mean, people can start, but I think sticking to it is
Yeah.
sticking
harder.
to it. Yeah, it's definitely hard.
You
So
could work out for one day and then just like never work out again.
yeah, that's
I'm a
when
victim of that.
I would say, like, whenever I lose motivation, I would say, okay, so me personally, for my specific situation, when I lose motivation, I remind myself of what I want to do, like my end goal, like what do I envision myself at the end, like of doing after all the hard work, where do I envision myself? And that's like, okay, I want to contribute to helping the world. You know, I want to
Yes.
help out the world.
Me too.
So whenever I lose track, like, okay, I lose motivation, I think, okay, I'm doing this to help out people. You know, I'm doing this to make humans to like put us on Mars. You know, I want to contribute to that, or I want to contribute to lessening greenhouse gases.
Yeah.
You know,
Me too.
or
That's
you know,
my-
I just see
That's my thing.
see the bigger picture, okay?
Minecraft is mine.
And so
Save the chest.
I remind myself how much bigger my goal
Yeah.
is, like how much bigger it is than like myself or really anyone else. It's bigger than the world, okay? Trying to put humans on Mars, okay? It's a big feat, and I want
Probably
to
the
contribute
biggest
to
thing
it.
we'll ever do.
Yeah. So then
Crazy.
it's like, okay, if I want to do that, I need to do this.
Uh-huh.
So that's how
That's a great way of looking at the world.
yeah, I gain perspective, I guess.
And it's
So
like
Wise words.
wise words. A lot of people have trouble doing that, but that's something you have to do when
Mhm.
you're lacking motivation. You just have to be like,
yeah.
just zoom out of yourself for a quick second.
Right. And like even like that applies even like if you want to like start a workout routine. That's like, okay, where do I see myself? Okay, I want to get ripped. So
Yeah.
to get ripped,
I want
I
to.
need to do this, you know, or
But
if
then it's sticking to it, man. That's like
Yeah.
I can't. It's so hard. But like, yeah, eventually I'll stick to it.
Yeah.
It's just tough.
It's hard. It's hard. I don't know. Like,
Yeah, and don't beat yourself about it. Like
Yeah.
just keep your head up.
Sometimes,
You know.
you lose motivation, but
yeah,
you
it
keep
happens.
picking yourself up too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
So, Heaven, do you have any
closing statements.
closing statements?
Yeah.
Or
Yes,
anything?
actually. So, okay. So, to come to the person that I've been today, it's been 17 years, almost
18.
almost 18 years in the making.
Adult soon.
Yeah,
You
almost an
scared?
adult. I know I wouldn't say that I'm scared. I'm just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about it. It's gonna feel the same as 17. I feel like.
Probably. Yeah.
So it's been a long time, and it's taken a lot to come to where I am today. So it can't be covered in the amount of time that we talked, like
Yeah.
15 minutes,
We went over.
Yeah, that was like 20
20
something.
minutes, 25, I don't know.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
So if the viewers, have any questions for me, feel free to
Hit her
put
up.
them in the comments below.
Or wherever.
Yeah, wherever.
Yeah, like we'll figure it out.
Yeah, figure it out.
Just
Yeah,
write it
post
down.
them
Write a note
wherever
down,
you
we'll
can.
find it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll try to get back to you. I'll read the comments and I'll try to reply, because I know, like, there's a lot going on in my life and a lot that has taken me to get there. So
Yeah.
a lot of you guys are probably have more questions or interested in learning more about me,
Mhm.
which yeah, I'll talk to you.
You
All right.
definitely stole the show of our first episode. You're very interesting, very awesome
Thank you.
person.
Thank
you
you.
for
Being
coming on.
here.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. Yeah, it's such
Yeah.
a pleasure.
Yeah, this was awesome. It's about all the time we have left. Real quick, Jonathan, get over here. I want to shout you out real fast. Get
Come
over
on,
here, bro.
Jonathan.
He's been behind
Hurry
the
up.
camera this whole
Hurry up.
time. You guys
Hurry
didn't
up.
even know.
He's our technician guy. Here, shout out your Instagram or something. I don't know.
Nah.
He said no. Okay.
Yeah, that's Jonathan. Shout out to that guy.
And we have Jay. Jay's not here. He handles the
money.
the money.
We have no money. Well, yeah.
Hopefully this time works.
Hopefully this worked, man. I'm gonna be so sad.
Yeah, we have no idea yet. Last time we thought we were good, and we tried to put it all together, and it didn't work. So
Mhm.
we're just praying
Did it work?
this time that it worked.
Yeah.
Evan, thank you once again for coming
Thank
on.
you. Thank you
Being
guys.
our
Yeah.
first guest.
Yep.
Hopefully people watch this.
I hope so.
We're just not just talking for no reason, but
Either way, this was
still
fun.
It's
It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Yep, definitely.
and
All
some
right.
people watch it, so yeah, hopefully.
Everyone put on your shades real quick.
Right.
This is our everyday dress attire.
Yeah, this is how we come to school every day.
Yeah, we
Just-
didn't address that in
Yeah.
the beginning. It's Tacky Tours Day. This is the day we filmed it.
No,
on.
we dress like this.
Yeah,
every
this
day.
is
never
just
mind.
our
This is our
general. This is our
podcast. That's probably what I
outfits.
said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah, that's it.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
All right,
yeah,
I'll see you
that's the
guys
end.
in the
Yeah.
next one. Bye.
Bye.
bye.